Welcome one and all to the Deakin Uni Women's Match of the Round, live from Vermont Recreation Reserve this morning. We've got second versus third in Premier Division. It's Vermont versus South Croydon, two old rivals butting heads once more. We should be in for an enthralling contest between two sides that have already met this season and met in an elimination final last year as well in Premier Division Women's. Very much looking forward to covering all the action, which will be live streamed on our Facebook and YouTube page. I'm Josh Ward, joined this morning by Paul Yukone, our stats guru for the men's match of the round, and now our superstar caller in the women's match of the round. It's a pleasure calling alongside you, Paul. Your second women's game as well.
Thank you, Josh. It's a pleasure to call alongside you. I'm looking forward to this game. Second versus third, and old rivals as well. It should be a beauty.
Yeah, it is, and the rivalry isn't just this in this women's competition as well. It's a great rivalry between these two. In the men's competition, of course, I think it was 6 years ago and 5 years ago as well, where Vermont and South Croydon faced off in those men's grand finals. Of course, South Croydon famously winning 2017 and Vermont getting revenge in 2018. And this women's rivalry has added to it, and it's one of the greatest. It's a really strong rivalry as well, just given how strong both sides have been going in the women's competition and the men's competition as well. Let's take a look at both of these sides. There's plenty of talent on show. Coming back into the lineup for Vermont, you've got Holly Cullen coming in, Nikki Juninga, the Division 4 Reserves Best and Fairest winner as well, coming back into the lineup as well after a couple of weeks in reserves for her second senior women's game. And they lose Erin Woodford, who's playing her first Box Hill Hawks VFLW game today, and Chloe Leopold due to illness, but there's still plenty of talent. Who are you looking forward to seeing, Paul? This is obviously your first time seeing Vermont, but who are you looking forward to see?
Maddie Johns, I've got her accolades here from last year. Finished runner-up in the AFNL BNF, won the VFL BNF, the VFLW BNF, and
Vermont Best and Fairest. I think
Vermont,
that was.
Sorry, I got mixed up there, and she was in the team of the year in the AFNL Women's, but also as well, Maddie Bazzano, who's got the 11 goals this year for Vermont, and Taylor Black, who won the BNF last year for South Croydon, I believe.
Yeah,
and she's got the 17 goals so far.
And they posted something, South Croydon, on their socials as well. She passed 100 goals in their last game against Whitehorse Pioneers, the first South Croydon person to do that as well. And
incredible effort.
She is an absolute superstar. I don't think she's passed 50 games since joining South Croydon a couple of years ago, as the 19s is now finished. Of course, outside of this women's game, all 19s, reserves and men's games taking place between Vermont and Blackburn. And well,
looks like Blackburn's just got the chocolates.
Yeah,
in the 19s.
They have, and a good start to the day for them. And their senior men's clash is also a really big one out here, but we're focused on the women's clash between Vermont and South Croydon. And you're right about Maddie Johns as well. The Johns name runs synonymous out here at Vermont, and well, I think like Lockie, she's an absolute superstar of this lineup. Such a key player, a key cog to the Vermont side, as we're now joined by South Croydon coach Simon Hammersley. Simon, thanks for coming on and having a chat with us pre-game. Back after a brief break on the King's birthday weekend, how are you and the girls feeling?
Yeah, no, good. It's nice to have a bit of a break and freshen up over the last couple of weeks, but great to be out playing footy again. And
just on your start to the season, you've obviously had the one bye, but 5 wins, 1 loss, and that loss coming against the Eastern Devils by just 11 points. How have you felt about this start to the season with a bit of a new lineup this time around?
So look, any win is a good win. We're obviously happy to be taking them. Better the close wins than the close losses, but the competition's still really close. Yeah, depending on personnel for each side on any given week, any side can still win. So yeah, we're glad we're getting the wins. Probably still not playing our best footy just yet, but definitely working our way into it, yeah.
And that's an exciting prospect for South Croydon fans, that there's still more to come. any players to keep a close eye on this today as well? Obviously, Taylor Black continues to excel, and there's also plenty of other talent out there.
Yeah, obviously, look, Tay-Tay's a ripper. She's in a really gives us something that's not too common in women's footy out there, which is someone that can reliably kick goals. I think she's probably missed one shot on goal for the whole year so far, and she's obviously having a great go at it at the minute. But yeah, I mean, that is the nature of Premier footy. Is that basically you've got to have 20 that are capable of actually doing things to win you the game, and I couldn't tell you which one it's going to be today, but hopefully one of them.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we better let you go. Oh, Paul, do you have a question? I'll let you ask.
After your last meeting with Vermont, what are you expecting from them this time around?
Look, a great side. They've got some good inclusions this year, which have given them a bit more sort of firepower up forward. Obviously, Keneally, great pair of hands and a great shot on goal, so that's something we have to be wary of. And they've always been really strong through the midfield, and winning that midfield battle is pretty much where the game has been won and lost with them. We really had lots of good close games with them where basically that's where it's come down to, and we've been fortunate enough to sort of get over the top of them in the end. We play a game style where we're focused on making sure we get through the full 80 minutes. We sort of managed to get that done the last couple of times, but certainly if they get on top in the middle, they're a hard team to stop.
We better let you go now, Simon. Thanks for coming on and have a chat with us pre-game. Good luck
guys.
for today.
All the best. Cheers. And
we're now joined by new Vermont women's coach, Greg Walker, for pre-game. Greg, thanks for coming on and having a chat with us.
No worries.
So you haven't had a break. Of course, you were coaching Interleague this time last weekend.
Yeah.
You excited about being back in the women's side of things, though?
Yeah, really excited. I think I didn't really need a break personally. It was more the players, I think, needed a break. So we actually took I know some clubs train through. We took the approach of giving the players mostly 2 weeks off. I just felt that's where they were at. So, yeah, but really excited to be back and hit this second half of the season and see how we go.
And just touching on the Interleague as well briefly, do you feel like you're better from the Interleague experience coaching those young boys?
Yeah, definitely. It was my second time doing Interleague. I've previously done the girls, so doing the boys is always a different experience. They see footy different, and it's always great to be involved in an operation where I guess the players are all really well skilled, and obviously the EFNL do the Interleague really well, so pretty grateful for that opportunity.
And some big ins for the women's side today. Obviously Holly Cullen coming back into the lineup, Nikki Ginger coming back in as well.
Yep.
Some big inclusions there.
Yeah, definitely. We obviously we lost a few to VFL commitments, and I mean half our team seems to be in Europe at the moment, which I wish I was too. But yeah, some really big ins. Nikki Gingers, but she's the reserves captain. But just brings a cool head, makes good decisions. So we thought that was a bit of a need with a lockdown defender today, so we brought her back in.
In today's game, you guys are 3-3 at the moment, taking on South Croydon at a 5-1. Which area do you think you're going to have to? Do you think will be most important today against this South Croydon lineup?
I think our back line, they've got a really dangerous forward line, as everyone knows about Taylor Black, who kicked her 100th last week. And last time we played them, we dominated for 3 quarters, and then she got off the chain in the last kick 3, and they ran over the top. So I think our back line cohesion is going to be really important. And obviously through our midfield, I think the midfields just go head-to-head. We've both got really good, young, athletic midfield, so I think that's going to be a real key today.
And finally as well, just some of those new girls that have come across. Holly Keneally's had an instant impact up forward, and just how well have they gelled with this group as well, alongside yourself? Yeah,
really, really good. I was pretty excited to bring Holly. I coached her last year at Oakley Chargers, and she followed me across, which was, I got her for a reason, because she's firstly a really good kid and great person off field, but on field she just competes, and we know she can take marks and kick goals. So I think she's going to be a focus for the opposition today. But we'll see how we go. I think we've got a few things in place to make things work for her today.
All right, thank you for joining us pre-game, Greg. We better let you get into position right in front of us out here. Good luck for today.
No worries. Have a good call.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you to Greg Walker there, who's done a terrific job, who's come into the women's program out here with Vermont, and he's started to somewhat build on it. Obviously, they're 3-3, but I think there's still missed plenty of players, and I reckon there's plenty of potential for Vermont to improve. Teams are starting to get into position. Paul, do you have a tip for this game?
I reckon it's going to be a close game. I reckon South Croydon will get up today. I think they'll want to respond. They feel that they did well after 3 quarters the last time they played, and I think if they can, you know, stop the forward line for Vermont from kicking goals, as we all know about, and if they can get the goals up forward, I reckon they'll get up in a close one, South Croydon.
Well, I tipped South Croydon in female footy focused, and while Vermont have some big inclusions, and I give them a bit of hope, but I feel that South Croydon, there's too much talent there. They should probably get up, you know, led by Taylor Black. There's Sarah O'Toole, the captain, amongst many others. Katie Prendergast, Amy Melanders. There's the siren, Paul Yukone, to get us underway in the Deakin Uni Women's Match of the round.
So both rucks go at it. South Croydon look to win the clearance. Good handball there. And it's going to be a stoppage there. Tackle on Brooke Smith. And the umpire will ball it up as Clark kicks it away. And South Croydon look to get the ball, and that's a good possession there again by Clark, who is up from the juniors this year for Vermont, as the umpire will throw it up.
So, bit of a scrap early on, as you'd expect. Second versus third. Vermont kicking with a heavy breeze to the right of your screens out here, as Mielka got the tap down. Was trying to find Maddie Johns, but she was wrapped up, and we'll have another ball up. So we've played just over a minute here. Still no scores. Getting the tap down there, Morgan Pay. Once more locked up as that breeze starts to really pick up here.
Very strong breeze.
It is a massive breeze, and it will continue throughout most of the day as Pay got the tap down, but South Croydon going to get the clearance. Couldn't take the intercept mark there, Ashley Ackland, and South Croydon bring the pressure. Ball trickles out, getting the handball away there was Smith. They're going inside 50, looking for Black. Bounce didn't favour her, and getting the kick clear there, Jess Elder. And in a heap of space there, Marley Wandon. But the ball will be picked up here by Heather McMillan, who did well. All her experience, although her handball wasn't the greatest there. Vermont applying good pressure. South Croydon will be able to clear it though. All locked up on the far side out here of Vermont Recreation Reserve, and we'll have another ball up. 2 minutes gone and still no score.
So on the sponsors wing here at Vermont, as both rucks go at it, Vermont will win the clearance, and they'll look to get it into their forward 50 for the first time of the game. Free kick, is it? It is, and it's going the way of South Croydon. So the first free kick of the afternoon. Clark looks to get the intercept mark, and I don't know if it's an intercept mark or free kick, either way. So they go forward again, and intercept mark there was taken there for South Croydon, as they'll look to, as they free kick, is it? It is, and it's going the way
Head high,
of
guys.
South Croydon, and they look to go forward. It's in the middle as it's tackled, and it'll be another ball up.
So we're back where it all began, as South Croydon got the tap down and getting the clearance there. Groom Wade found her handball to, that's Katie Prendergast in the number 51. Ball's trickling on the far side here, and plenty of players over this. South Croydon trying to get the ball cleared. Tap forward there. Couldn't find anyone, and Vermont clear their lines, going towards the cricket nets out here, Vermont Recreation Reserve, and it'll trickle out of bounds before anyone can get their hands on the ball. Last possession rule. It'll be South Croydon's free kick, and they push further down the line. No mark taken there, either Vermont or South Croydon. Vermont will be able to get it clear. Going towards the half-forward flank here, out the back, the Goomas. Couldn't take the intercept mark, and she's wrapped up, and we'll have another ball up. So just over 4 minutes gone here in
Free
this.
kick, I think. Yeah.
And it's going in the direction of South Croydon as they push further down the line, looking for Grimwade. Couldn't control the mark there. Vermont will be able to clear once more, but it's a very dangerous kick into the middle of the ground. Bianca Clark wraps up her South Croydon opponent, did really well, and Madeline Johns will try and latch onto this loose ball, did really well there, did the captain, gets the handball away to Pay, who's going to true centre half forward. The bounce doesn't favour anyone. It's out the back here, and doing really well was Rachel Giddens, and she'll be given a high free kick. So South Croydon holding up well in defence, and they have the chance to rebound as Giddens will take the free kick. Goes out wide, finds Heather McMillan. Plenty of experience Heather McMillan has as she's looking for options. She'll most likely be forced to go down the line, and she is. Couldn't find her teammate. Madeline Johns latching onto that. She'll get the handball away here, but handball will be intercepted by Kate McCullough, and umpire will call for it. With 5 minutes played here in this, or 5.5 minutes played here in this first quarter, and still no score.
Very good pressure here from both sides early, as we'd expect for a game between second and third on the ladder. Is a kick up in the air, no mark taken, as South Croydon look to clear it away and get it up forward as an opportunity here for Griffin, as she's going to go forward here for South Croydon. Black goes at it. Here's Grimwade, who kicks it, looking for a better option, and tackled there by Johns. South Croydon, Vermont, looked to get it out defensive 50, but the intercept mark, Brebner went for it but couldn't take it. She grabs the ball again as it's handball by Fitzgerald as South Croydon look to go forward again through McKellar. Now Vermont's turn to go forward, but it's taken there for South Croydon, kicked down into the forward 50. It's going to be cleared out there by Hilda, and that's a good mark there taken by Reed as she goes down to Clark, who's had a lot of the footy early.
She has.
For Vermont in the green helmet as she goes into the forward 50. No mark taken, cleared away by South Croydon as Vermont have numbers back, and there's handball by Milky as it goes forward. Good mark there taken by Martini, who is also up from the juniors for Vermont as it goes into forward 50. It's a goal, and it's the first goal to Vermont kicked by Keneally and they take the lead. They kick the first goal of the game, and it's Vermont 1 straight 6 to South Croydon yet to score. We have played approximately 8 minutes in the first quarter.
So a great finish there, Holly Keneally. Well done by the former Oakley Charger. It's the first goal of this game, and it's going in the direction of Vermont. It's her 10th goal of the season as we're back in the middle here. Nielke gets the tap down. Getting the clearance there is Cullen, who's back into the line-up, finds Johns. Nice stand step. Going inside 50 here. Couldn't find a target in South Croydon. Will they be able to clear their lines? No, they won't. Good tackle applied there by... That's Zoe Lynch, who's also in the bright green helmet as well. So we've got 2 bright green helmets out there for Vermonters. I have a ball up inside Vermont's attacking 50. Kicking with the breeze. They wouldn't mind a bit of an advantage. Kicking with this breeze heading into quarter time is getting the tap down there was Pay. South Croydon doing well to hold up, but it's going to trickle out the back here. In fact, it's going to be another ball up. So just under 9 minutes played here. Vermont with the first goal through Holly Keneally as Pay got the tap down. Vermont, the South Croydon though, will be able to clear their lines. It goes into the middle of the ground. Mielka did really well there. They're going inside 50 once more are the Eagles. No mark taken. It's out the back here. Going to kick off the ground was Pay. In fact, that was Gartland who went to kick off the ground, and South Croydon will be able to clear their lines. Looking for Fitzgerald. She couldn't haul in the mark. It's out the back here. Marley Wandon Free kick will be paid in the direction of Vermont, and the former Mount Evelyn Junior will be able to go inside 50 for the Eagles. Plenty of players, nearly all the players inside Vermont's attacking 50, and a really good mark taken. Was it out of bounds? The consultation going on, and it is out of bounds on the full. So South Croydon, they'll get the free kick and have their chance to clear their lines.
So South Croydon let off there for the moment, as they'll go down the line here, and it's a pack of players, and it's going to be another ball up. Vermont leading by a goal early on as we go halfway into this opening term. That'll be another ball up. And
just a quick score from around the grounds. In Division 1, there was the early game between Boronia and the Basin, first versus third, and Boronia have knocked off the Bears 60-13 out there at Batteran Reserve. So a big victory there for Boronia.
Yep, a huge win there for Boronia, as Vermont are going to go forward again, as it's kicked into the forward line. An opportunity now for Vermont if they can get their hands on it. And good pressure there being shown by South Croydon. They'll clear it away, but there's player waiting under it for Vermont. And it's a very, very scrappy footy at the moment between both sides here at Vermont Recreation Reserve. And the umpire is going to throw it back in.
Ball up here on the far side, which doesn't make life easy for us. As tap down there by Vermont. South Croydon won't be able to clear their lines. Good pressure from Vermont. 8.5 minutes left here in this first quarter. It's the Eagles who lead by one straight kick. Kicking with the breeze this quarter as they get the tap down, and they'll be able to get the clearance and go deeper inside 50. Trying to avoid a couple of tacklers there, the Vermont forward, but she'll be pinged. And South Croydon will get the free kick here. A big chance for South Croydon to try and clear their lines, which they haven't really done these last couple of minutes. As they go to the far side, looking for Brebner. Out of bounds on the full. And Vermont, through Zoe Lynch, will have another chance to go deep inside 50. Goes to the forward pocket, looking for Gartland, who couldn't haul in the mark. Good courage there from the South Croydon player as well. And we'll have another boundary throw in. 7.5 minutes left. Vermont in this first quarter, as the umpire will toss the ball back up here. Vermont with the tap down. They clear their lines as well. Reed will be able to try and get the kick to the goal square, but couldn't. South Croydon applying good pressure, and Vermont once more continue to apply good pressure. And South Croydon through the Gumi will be able to clear their lines. They go into the middle of the ground. Vermont will be able to intercept though, and it's in fact locked up. And once more, back to where we started. 7 minutes left in this first quarter as Pay got the tap down. South Croydon though, try and get the clearance through Elizabeth Griffin. But she's locked up, and yet another ball up.
So both rucks go at it. South Croydon look to win the clearance, and it's kicked away, but there are numbers around it for Vermont. And it's going to be a high free kick, and it's going to go to Vermont to as she gets it forward for Vermont. Plays under it for South Croydon, kicked away as they look to go forward, but Vermont have players around it, and that is going to be another stoppage. And Both rucks will go at it, but cleared away for South Croydon. Good mark, nearly taken there by Muir. Handballed away, kicked away for Vermont, and South Croydon got her hands on it, and it's going to be yet another ball up back where we started with about 5.5 minutes left in this first quarter. Handballed away for South Croydon, and good tackle there, and it's going to be another stoppage. So both rucks went at it, and it's going to be another stoppage as the tap is on there by the South Croydon ruckman, and it's kicked high. Mark nearly taken there by Wandon as South Croydon look to go forward. Good handball and good pressure by both sides, as we alluded to earlier. Kicked down the line for South Croydon as Wandon kicks it away, and Mark nearly taken. Here's an opportunity for Gartland as she goes forward, and there's a great intercept mark there taken by South Croydon as Munyard couldn't get her hands on it, and it's kicked away here for South Croydon as they look to go forward themselves. The numbers under it for Vermont, as a good tackle there by Grimwade, who has also been lively for the South Croydon side early in this one, as they look to go forward, and Black looks to go forward as she gets her hands on it, and good pressure being shown by the Vermont players, and we are going to have a ball up.
So good stuff there from Nicole Junginger, who clearly has the job on Taylor Black. She'll definitely have her work cut out with Junginger. It's the tap down there by Whitnish. Trying to find Isabel Price. I'll have another ball up though. Inside, South Croydon's attacking 50. They get the click clear from the centre clearance, but it's all Vermont in their defensive goal square, and they'll be able to clear their lines. Picking it up there and taking control was Reid, but her handball was errant to Rebecca Munyard. She'll get the ball back though, will Kiara Reid. The kick will be intercepted though by Heather McMillan, who's going inside 50. Taylor Black in a 3-on-1. She can do anything, Taylor Black. And she, against 3 Vermont players, the ball sat for her, and she's able to take the intercept, take the mark, and it would be her 18th goal if this went through, although she'll have to judge the wind out here. It would tie things up from if Taylor Black, the reigning Premier Division Women's Best and Fairest winner. We've got the perfect view of this. She comes in now. Player on the mark, trying her best to distract Black. She comes in. It's just drifting left and through for a minus score. So it's the first blemish of today. South Croydon moved to 1 behind. Vermont 1 straight 6. 2 minutes left here in this first quarter.
So the kick in to be taken by Vermont as she goes over the fence to retrieve it. And kicked in by Georgia Wilson. She's going to go left here down the line. Looking for a play, but good intercept mark. Taken there by Smith, I think it was. And she's going to go into the forward line. Sitting under it is Johns, the captain for Vermont, as she goes down line. Good mark taken there by Bianca Clark, who has been very lively for Vermont, as we've alluded to earlier. Good mark there taken by Brebner, as she looks to go forward for South Croydon. Pack of players under it. Mark nearly taken there by Fitzgerald. And good tackle there on O'Toole. And we are going to have another ball up with a minute remaining here in the first quarter. It's Vermont 1 straight to South Croydon 1 behind, as South Croydon will look to get it forward here good pack of players around it, and we're going to have another ball up with 45 seconds left in the first quarter.
So Pay got the tap down. It's all South Croydon, though, at the fall of the ball, and can't get away there. We'll have another ball up, 30 seconds left. Possibly a chance for either side, particularly Vermont kicking with that breeze picking up as Fitzgerald got the tap down for South Croydon. They'll look to clear their lines, the Bulldogs, but won't be able to, and they'll have another ball up. All tossed back up here as Fitzgerald got the tap down straight to a Vermont opponent in Reed, though, and it's locked up as the quarter time siren will sound out here at Vermont Recreation and Reserve, and it's the home side that hold a 5-point advantage here. They lead 1 straight 6 to South Croydon, just the one behind. The only goal kicker from that quarter, Holly Keneally, her 10th goal of the season. We're going to go to a break here in the Deakin Uni women's match of the round. When we return, we'll bring you the second quarter of action out here between the Eagles and the Bulldogs. And welcome back to the Deakin Uni Women's Match of the Round, live from Vermont Recreation Reserve. Second versus third in Premier Division. Two old rivals clashing heads once more in Vermont and South Croydon. And it's the Eagles who lead at the first break. 1 straight 6 to South Croydon, the one behind. The only goal kicker in that first quarter, Holly Keneally, her 10th goal of the season, as both teams getting addressed by their respective coaches, Simon Hammersley and Greg Walker down there, who both came on for a chat pre-game, which is always enjoyable, chatting to coaches pre-game, and both spoke very highly of their sides. Kate Green at both huddles as well, and we'll get what both coaches had to say at that their quarter time address as soon as
Boundary.
as we'll cross down to her now. Kate Green, what did both coaches have to say?
Both coaches have said that each team respectively has had a great first quarter, great pressure on both sides, that basically both coaches even said that there's been no clean possession for either side. Now the focus is on winning that possession for both respectively for each team. Coaches are basically, I think they're reading from the same playbook at the moment because they're both pretty much echoing each other. So it's actually good and a good contest so far.
Yeah, it has been a really good contest. It's been pretty much contested for the start of this game, which is something you'd expect, and especially come finals time as well. It's been a real finals type game between these two sides that will definitely be contending for finals as South Croydon dispersed from their huddle. Who impressed you the most in that first quarter, Paul?
Yeah, well, I think Vermont with I think both sides played really well. I mean, Vermont, you know, they had the breeze and the majority of inside 50s, showed some very good forward pressure and got what is the only goal of the game so far. But South Croydon's defensive pressure was very, very good. So I think both sides will be very happy. Both coaches will be very happy with how their respective sides have performed in this opening term.
Definitely is. I've been really impressed with many a player for South Croydon. It's really been a bit of a team effort down in defence, but for Vermont, Maddie Johns, as Bianca Clark's had a really good game, and you're right there, Paul, and Maddie Johns has done really well as Paul Yacone to get us underway in the second quarter of action here between Vermont and South Croydon.
So both rucks go at it as the clearance is won there by Vermont as Martini went at it, and it's going to go into the forward line as they go after it for Vermont, kicked away by South Croydon. It's going to be a mark nearly taken there by Reid, and here's an opportunity for a goal here for Keneally, who's kicked the only goal so far in this game, and that is going to be last touch here as South Croydon look to get it out of the defensive 50. So kicked down the line there by McMillan, and Clark gets the spoil, and clearing kick smothered, and a handball there for South Croydon, and it's going to be cleared out there by Brebner, and it's going to be another bowl up as we've played nearly a minute and 20 here in this second quarter as the clearance is won there by the Bulldogs. Good gutsy effort there by the Vermont player, and that's going to be a free kick no, it's going to be a bowl up. So apologies there as it's going to be bowled up on the sponsor's wing, and South Croydon look to go forward. They have the breeze in this second quarter as we've played 2 minutes in this second term.
So South Croydon moving that ball slowly into attacking 50 as O'Toole's kick was smothered. Vermont will be able to clear their lines. Not for long. South Croydon will get the last possession rule free kick here, and it'll go in the direction of one of their captains in Sarah O'Toole. What an experienced player she is for South Croydon. In fact, it was McMillan, another experienced player. She goes down the line, finds Grimwade. Had a very lively start in that first quarter. She goes inside 50, trying to find Prendergast. Can't. And last possession rule, free kick going in the direction of Vermont's Zoe Lynch. Just to jump over the fence there and pick up the ball. Always a bit tricky as she'll take the kick in now. Ball Lynch, she'll go looking for Jess Elder. Plenty of experience for Elder as well. She's going The very dangerous kick, and it'll be cut off. Chelsea Whitnish. Big ruck. Goes inside 50. Looking for Black. Couldn't haul in the mark. Picks up the ball, though. Handball's intercepted by Lynch, and she'll be able to clear her lines. Not for long, though. It's gone out of bounds on the fall, and Heather McMillan will, as she did before, take the free kick, but a little further up than when she took that last free kick. She goes the short chipping ball. Really smart kick there. No mark taken. Invites the Vermont defensive pressure, and Eagles try to clear their lines. Pay got that handball away, but it's all South Croydon. Vermont do really well, and they go into the middle of the ground looking for Maddie Johns. And intercepted there by Hayley Brebner, who got the kick away looking for Prendergast. Doing really well there, the Vermont player, and they'll have another ball up here, this time in South Croydon's attacking 50. 4 minutes gone in this second quarter. No score change since that since the quarter time score. Is the ball will be once more locked up here, and they'll have another stoppage as Whitnish in ruck for South Croydon. She gets the tap down, trying to find her teammate, but Zoe Lynch wraps her up.
There are trainers around Maddie Johns at the moment.
That's very concerning as Whitnish got the tap down. South Croydon will get the ball clear. Handball over the top looking for Elizabeth Griffin. Handball back to her captain, Sarah O'Toole, who managed to get a kick away to Prendergast. Got Vermont doing really well to hold up, and they'll be able to clear their lines through Kiara Reid. Kick will be intercepted, though, by Heather McMillan. Another smart kick. Looking for her teammate, but she couldn't haul in the mark, and it'll go out of bounds for a ball up here. So South Croydon continuing to attack, but still behind on the scoreboard.
So South Croydon looking to get their first goal on the board as they have it in their attacking 50. Vermont look to clear it out. A pack of players around the place. Some real great intensity shown in this one. Some great pressure between these two sides who are expected to be up there come the end of the year as Vermont get the free kick and get it down the middle. And a mark there taken by Keneally, and she looks to get it into the full. Well, she goes, and it's an intercept mark there taken by McMillan as she goes down the line. Another great mark there as they look to get it back into attack, and that is also a great mark for South Croydon as they look to get themselves on here. Great opportunity for South Croydon through O'Toole by the looks of thing, by Black, and that is a behind, is it?
It is.
It is a behind, so it's their second behind of the game. It's South Croydon 2 behinds, Vermont 1 straight 6. We've played 6.5 in this second quarter.
As Vermont will be able to clear their lines. Boundary side to Kate Green.
Just a quick update on Vermont's Johns. All good. Just someone had landed on her arm, and so it was a little numb, but otherwise all okay.
That's positive for Vermont fans out there still. She'll play a key role, will the captain, as ball tossed back up. Alicia Fitzgerald got the tap down, and South Croydon can go inside 50 here through Griffin. Her kick won't be intercepted by Ash Hilda. Invites the South Croydon pressure, and I'll have another ball up inside South Croydon's attacking 50. 7 minutes gone. Trailing by 4 points, the Bulldogs kicking with the breeze in this second quarter as ball is tossed back up. Fitzgerald got the tap down. No clear winner in the clearance, but Griffin gets the kick away. It's going to trickle out of bound. It's going to... it looked like it might have gone through for a minor score, but it's going to be a last possession rule, and on kicking duties here from that free kick, Nikki Juninya. She goes to the far side. Kick wasn't intercepted, getting the handball away there to McCullough, who has plenty of space. Going inside 50 here are the Bulldogs. No mark taken. All on her own is Colburn Veal. She'll be able to pick up the ball. Does really well, does Colburn Veal. Gets the handball away to Grimwade. Is a comeback? It has! That's a brilliant finish from Amy Grimwade. And South Croydon have their first on the board. They're 1-2-8. They hit the front. Vermont 1 straight 6. We played just over 8 minutes here in this second quarter out here at Vermont Recreation Reserve. And given the last couple of minutes, Paul, you feel South Croydon deserve this advantage. It's like Vermont in that first quarter, been locked inside that attacking 50, and finally they get reward for effort.
Yep, they certainly do deserve to be in front. Repeat, scored 50 entries and numbers around the bowl. So as the umpires are getting the ball back to the middle, and both rucks are patiently waiting for the umpire to ball it up again as they go at it. Vermont or South Croydon, they look to win the clearance. It's another scrap in the middle, and it's going to be another ball up. 2-point lead for the Bulldogs. Kicked away as South Croydon look to get it back into their forward 50. Good tackle. Is it going to be a ball up? It is. And it is just outside the attacking 50 for South Croydon. And another great tackle as it's a good kick there for South Croydon. It goes deep into the goal square, and that is going to be going through for the one behind, and it is South Croydon 1-3-9 to Vermont 1 straight 6. We've played 10 minutes in this second quarter.
So Vermont will try to clear their lines. Go on the kick in the direction of Ash Hilda, who takes the mark ahead of Heather McMillan, who's had a really big game, McMillan. She's going further down the line. Clark was the target, but a good mark taken there. Hayley Brebner. Her first senior season, and she's had a big impact. And she's had her moments in this game as she's going near 50. No mark taken. South Croydon able to push it further as they get the handball away to Elizabeth Griffin, who gets the check side away. It's just going to trickle out of bounds. And they're going to be a free kick to Vermont going to Ash Hilda, who's had a solid outing today as the former Ferntree Gully girl. And she tries to find Lynch, couldn't haul in the mark. And South Croydon did really well to lock it in. Got the tackle there on Lynch, and we'll have another ball up inside the Bulldogs attacking 50. Only goal of this quarter going in their favour as they'll be able to get the clearance. Brebner was out the back there, doing really well down in the trenches, Zoe Lynch, but she'll be pinged here. And taking the free kick is Hayley Brebner. She's had a good couple of minutes. She'll go inside 50 here, will the former Wani South junior. No mark taken. There is a mark taken. And South Croydon, they have a chance to kick their second of the quarter here. And it's Taylor Black, who's kicked 2 of South Croydon's behind. She'll kick from from about a 30-degree angle here. Distance won't be a problem for possibly the best player in this South Croydon lineup. She's the best player from last year in Premier Division as she comes in now. Slow and deliberate approach. Looks good off the boot. She loves it. And South Croydon's advantage is extended to 9 points, 2-3-15. The Bulldogs, Vermont 1 straight 6. We've just got over 8 minutes here in this first half out here at Vermont Recreation Reserve. In fact, 7.5 minutes left here in this second quarter, Paul.
So South Croydon get their second goal through Taylor Black, and it is going to go back to the middle with 7 minutes left in the second quarter. as both rucks will go at it. And it's Vermont who look to win the clearance through Clark, who's been very lively for Vermont as they look to get it forward. Good numbers around it for both sides. Handballed out of the pack and pack of players around it, and it's going to be another ball up with 6.5 left in the second term. It's 2-3 to 1 straight in favour of South Croydon on the sponsors' wing as it's cleared away by Vermont. It's a high ball and it's a great mark there for South Croydon as it goes down the line, and that is going to bounce. It's going to ricochet out of bounds, and it's going to be is it a last touch or is it a ball up? It's a ball, it's a throw in even, and with 6 minutes left in the second quarter, both rucks will go at it once again as a good clearance there by South Croydon, and that is going to go out of bounds, and it's going to be a last touch free kick to Vermont as they look to reply to the 2 goals that have been kicked by South Croydon in this second quarter. Good handball there, looking for Clark, couldn't get her hands on it, and it's going to be another stoppage.
So back in the middle of Vermont Recreation Reserve. 5 minutes left here in this first half as Vermont get the tap down, but South Croydon will get the clearance through O'Donnell. Trying to burst her way through there, the South Croydon player, but she can't, and Vermont will be able to rebound. They find Ellie Martini in the middle of the ground. All on her own there is Holly Keneally, who takes the mark. She's got the overlap, ignores that. Looking for Bizzano. Couldn't haul in the mark. Good defence there from Amy Whittle. Bianca Clark tried to get her hands on the ball, and it trickles out of bounds. It won't be last touch. It'll be a ball up. So Vermont, a big chance here to get a response and kick a goal against the breeze. But the tap down there by Whittle. South Croydon will get the clearance here through Pendergast. She goes further down the line. Grimway tried to latch onto the ball, but doing really well there was Hilda, who got the handball away, but it was a bit of an errant one. Elder is able to get it though. Andy Johns around that pack, as is Elizabeth Griffin, and she's wrapped up. And we'll have another ball up with 4 minutes left here. In fact, she's going to get a free kick, is Griffin. Might have been high there. Her kick is smothered.
Yes, was high.
So it's going to be another ball up here as both rucks will go at it. And another pack of players as South Croydon look to win the clearance, but Vermont with numbers around it, and the umpire's looking to blow his whistle, and he does. So it is in the middle again as Vermont look to win the clearance, handballs it backwards, goes forward, opportune mark taken there by South Croydon through Keneally, and they look to go forward here through Pay, and she's got her body under it as she looks to go forward for Croydon, and South Croydon with numbers around it, and good tackle there by Wandon, and that is going to be another stoppage inside the Vermont attacking 50 as they look to respond to the 2 goals kicked, and that's a great tackle to stop the South Croydon clearance with nearly 2:40 left in this second quarter, and it's going to stay in the Vermont forward 50 for the time being as some good pressure shown by both sides, and that is going to be our last touch out of bounds, and South Croydon will look to clear it away, and it's good kick down the line there, couldn't mark it, looked to cleared, good tackle there by the Vermont player as it goes back into the forward 50, but it's going to bounce out, and it's going to be another last touch free kick to South Croydon.
So the Bulldogs wouldn't mind one more goal here. Vermont wouldn't mind a goal either, as ball is locked up right in front of the scoreboard, which reads South Croydon 2-3-15. Vermont 1 straight 6. A minute 45 left in this first half as Vermont got the tap down. South Croydon got the clearance. Dangerous kick. One couldn't haul in the mark. By calls not 15. Dropped it there, did Ackland. And South Croydon, they'll be able to clear their lines, although Vermont do well with the tackle, and umpire pings O'Donnell. It's a free kick going in the direction of the Eagles as they go to centre wing. No mark taken, but the free kick will be paid. Interfered with there, the Vermont player. That was Martini, who'll go inside 50 here for Vermont. Keneally under this, couldn't haul in the mark. They'll try to pick up the ball here, Vermont, with just under a minute left now, as no free kick paid there, and we'll have another ball up inside Vermont's attacking 50. A goal here will do them a world of good as Johns wraps up Elizabeth Griffin. They'll have another ball up.
So in the Vermont forward 50 as they look to get a goal. Here's Clark, who in the bright green helmet's been very lively. Here's an opportunity, kick to the top of the square. Numbers under it for South Croydon. Good pressure there from the South Croydon defenders. And we've got 20 seconds left in the second quarter. Can they get a goal, Vermont, before the break? Number of players around it for both sides as there's counting down to half-time. Can they get a quick kick here, Vermont, or can South Croydon hold them off? And there is your half-time siren. So South Croydon take a 9-point lead at half-time. 2-3-15. South Croydon leading Vermont 1 straight 6. Josh Ward, the goal kickers.
Taylor Black and Amy Grimwade with the 2 goals for South Croydon in that quarter, and it was Holly Keneally, the only goal kicker for Vermont in that first quarter. Well, we're going to go to a break here on the Deakin Uni Women's Match of the Round. It's been an entertaining first half. When we return, we'll bring you the second half of action out here at Vermont Recreation Reserve. It's South Croydon that's leading. In fact, I think we've got Kate Green, she's chatting with the Vermont coach, Greg Walker there, and but we are going to go to a break. We are going to go to a break here on the Deakin Uni Women's Match of the Round. When we return, we'll bring you the second half of action, and so far in that first half, it's South Croydon who take the lead heading into the main break. 2-3-15 to Vermont 1 straight 6.
So, welcome back to the Deakin University Women's Match of the round. It's South Croydon with a 9-point lead at half-time, 2-3-15 to Vermont 1 straight 6 as
Boundary.
we head down to the boundary with Kate Green.
Okay, going into the third quarter, Greg Walker's message to the girls was basically stop being so predictable, mix it up a bit, and the message from Simon Hammersley to his team was play to strengths, great work, great pressure, and just grab the ball and run to the breeze.
Thank you, Kate Green. Always does a great job on the boundary. As the start of the third quarter, here's Josh Ward.
So we're back in the middle here of Vermont Recreation Reserve, and it's the Bulldogs who hold the lead as Vermont try to get the handball away to Clark, but she can't get it clear. South Croydon applying good pressure, and they'll get the free kick. Going to go in the direction of Katie Prendergast. Does really well there to elude Mielka. Going inside 50. Black was there. It's going to trickle out the back there. Can she pick up the ball and control it? No, she can't. Vermont do really well. Ball locked up though. South Croydon applying good pressure, and we have a ball up. Already in South Croydon's attacking 50 is going in ruck there is Grimwade for South Croydon. She got the tap down, but to space. And South Croydon, though, will be able to go inside 50 deeper through Brooke Smith. Grimwade was there. She'll be pinged, though, by Coles holding the ball, and it's going to go in the direction of Ash Hilda, who's been as solid as a rock down in defence. She'll get the ball clear here. Big pack of players, though. Got the spoil, did O'Donnell and Maddie Johns. In the middle of that pack, getting tackled by Alicia Fitzgerald, and we'll have another ball up. Just over a minute played in this third quarter as Johns gets the clearance here. She's been a star all day as always. She goes to centre wing. Her ball will be cut off though. Wasn't the greatest handball, and latching onto that is Holly Cullen. She goes inside 50, finds Keneally. One-on-one near the goal square. Bazzano was there. Gartland was also there crumbing. Neither could get control of the ball. South Croydon will look to clear their lines. They don't. Couldn't control the ball there, the Vermont player. But they will now, and getting the click clear there, Taylor Hammersley. They'll be cut off though by Jess Elder. The wind carries that inside 50 for Vermont, and Bazzano is out. A kick was under pressure there by South Croydon's Amy Whittle. And we'll have a free kick there for Whittle, a former Vermont player, crossed to South Croydon this year, and she'll take the kick in now. Big pack of players. No mark taken out the back there for Brebner. She gets the tap forward, looking for Colburn Veal. South Croydon will be able to clear their lines, but Hammersley's under John's pressure, and we'll have another ball up with 3 minutes played here in this third quarter, and score hasn't changed from halftime.
So it's going to be another ball up here as both rucks are going to go at it again inside the Vermont attacking 50 as South Croydon look to clear it out, but Vermont look to get it into the forward 50 once again, and it's going to bounce. It's going to bounce through for the minus score. So it's a first behind for Vermont. Vermont 1-1-7 to South Croydon 2-3-15. We have played 4.5 in this third quarter as South Croydon look to clear it out, defensive 50, but that is going to go back to the Eagles as they look to get it back into the forward 50 through Wandon. Good intercept mark there for South Croydon, and she tried a handball there for a second. No, it's marked there taken by McMillan. So McMillan, who has been lively for South Croydon in this game today, is it's going to be a win, ball up, as both. It's going to be another ball up here, as it is just outside the Vermont attacking 50. Vermont, who have the breeze in this third quarter, and they'll be happy. South Croydon will be happy to see that as another stoppage. Both rucks go at it again as South Croydon will win the clearance. Numbers under it. Good mark there taken by Ackland as it looks to go forward through here for Vermont, as it's going to be a stoppage inside the Vermont forward 50. We have played 5 minutes in this third quarter.
So it's locked up on the far side there, and South Croydon will be able to get it clear. Bianca Clark parked under this, couldn't haul in the mark, good pressure. South Croydon player, and we'll have another ball up here on the sponsors side of Vermont Recreation Reserve. It's going to trickle out of bounds, and it'll be a boundary throw in. Right where, or a throw up, I beg your pardon, right where it was before. As Fitzgerald got the tap down. Mielko on the ground there, couldn't fully control the ball. And yet another stoppage, as it has been for pretty much all game. A couple of tied girls probably towards the end of this game, as Black took a great mark out of her opposing number there. And
It'll be 25,
it is 25. So Taylor Black will be marched to centre wing, and she'll look for options around centre half forward or maybe inside 50. She goes to centre half forward. Her kick will be cut off though. Ash Hilda. What a game the former Ferntree Gully girl has had. She's probably been one of Vermont's best in defences. She goes the dangerous kick into the middle of the ground. Tried to find Ackland. Her kick was cut off though, and South Croydon through Griffin have a big chance for a goal here. Is it going to trickle its way through? Molly Muir will force that through for a behind. It's South Croydon's fourth. They're 2-4-16. Their 9-point halftime lead restored. Vermont 1-1-7. 7 minutes gone here in this third quarter, as the Eagles will take the kick in here. I'll look to go to the broadcast side. It's Aldo who gets the kick in, and no mark taken there by Pay. It's out the back though for Kiara Reid. She gets the handball away to Maddie Johns. The handball will be cut off though by Elizabeth Griffin, but Pay did really well there. Locks it up, and we'll have a ball up centre wing. It's going to be Mielka who got the tap down ahead of Whitnish on hands and knees. Handball will be cut off by Colburn Veal. She'll go a very dangerous kick. It's all Vermont. Couldn't haul in the mark of Muir. Trying to burst her way through the pack there. Get the handball away to South Croydon. A very smart tap forward there. Falling those May. The ball will be locked up, and we'll have another ball up here with 8 minutes gone in this third quarter. It's South Croydon 16, Vermont 7.
So inside the South Croydon attacking 50, just on the line there is South Croydon look to get back in there. Clark gets her hands on it, over to Elder, who kicks it away with numbers under it for South Croydon, for Vermont, and that's going to be a free kick to South Croydon. So they look to get it back into the forward 50, as it's going to be kicked towards Brimwade, who has been very lively for South Croydon today, as she looks to go into the forward 50. Players at it. Black couldn't take the mark, as it's handballed away by Ackland. And South Croydon get the ball back through Price. Players under it. Good work there by Pay as she goes, but it's marked there. Good intercept marked there by the South Croydon player, and it's going to go back to Vermont. So 11 minutes left in this third quarter. Mark nearly taken, as She kicks it high up in the air. Good mark. They're taken by Bizzano. And as Vermont go forward, good intercept mark there by the South Croydon player. It's going to be in the middle, kicked away by Munyard. And South Croydon look to get it away. That's a good short kick there as it's in the centre circle. South Croydon look to go forward again. A handball, couldn't find her teammate. And it's going to be another stoppage here. It's handballed out. Good kick away as they look to go forward for Vermont. And it's going to be another ball up with 10 minutes left in this third quarter.
So we're halfway through. Johns gets the clearance, bursts away from the pack, goes for broke. Is it going to trickle its way through from behind? No, it won't. Bizzano applying the pressure. Does she get the kick away? She hits the point post and it goes through for a rush behind. Vermont moved to 1-2-8. South Croydon 2-4-16. 9.5 minutes left here in this third quarter. Big chance there. Doing really well, though, was Amy Whittle, who, against her former side, has been as solid as a rock down in defence. She gets the kick in here. It'll be cut off, though, by Vermont. In fact, it'll trickle out of bounds before it's cut off. The last possession rule going in the direction of Vermont's Marley Wandon. She goes to the half-forward flank. Her kick will also be nearly cut off, but it'll be a ball up. Couldn't haul in the ball there. Could Cara Colburn-Veal. And we'll have another stoppage. Vermont's attacking half as they'll get the clearance here through Lynch. Gartland was around that ball, got the handball to Lynch, who was under plenty of South Croydon pressure, and they'll get the free kick for the Bulldogs as they look to thrust forward. Kick towards centre wing, big pack of players. Black was there, got the tap down, a very smart tap down, and umpire Pink's a throw. So the Eagles will get a free kick here. It's going to Jess Elder, who's also been solid down in defence, as has most of the Vermont defence. She goes towards half forward here. No mark taken, John's on the ground. What a game she's had, going inside 50 looking for Gartland, but just misses her. And it's last possession rule, free kick going to one of South Croydon's captains, Brooke Smith. A terrific servant over the years for the Bulldogs as her kick holds up in the air. Keneally couldn't hold in the mark. Getting the kick away there was O'Toole. It'll be cut off though by Marley Wandon. And she'll go inside 50. The wind carries it. A good intercept mark taken there. Oh, it's a free kick. The free kick paid to Holly Keneally. She has a chance for her second goal. And Vermont's second goal as well.
She's going to have to work out this wind because it's going all over the place at the moment.
It's blowing a gale out here at Vermont Recreation Reserve. As she comes in, it's just drifting to the left and it stays there. So Vermont moved to 1-3-9. South Croydon 2-4-16. Just over 7 minutes left here in this third quarter.
So the kick in for South Croydon as we've alluded to a couple of times so far, a very windy day here at Vermont as it goes down the line for South Croydon as Wandon look to in the forward 50. Good tackle, and that is going to be a stoppage on the sponsor's wing as Vermont look to win the clearance. Handballed away. That is going to be a free kick to going the way of South Croydon. So
we've got a final score in a Division 1 match between Beaconsfield and Park Orchards. Park Orchards 16-point winners, 5-4-34 to Beaconsfield 2-6-18.
So great intercept mark there for Vermont as they look to go forward. Good contest, and that is going to be a free kick going South Croydon's way for over the shoulder. As good running there from Deggs as she looks to go into the forward 50. Sitting under it is Black, couldn't get her hands on it. Pack of players around the ball as it's going to be a ball up in the South Croydon attacking 50 with 5 3/4 left in this third quarter as it's going to look to be cleared out by Vermont. Going forward is Munyard, and good pressure there by Fitzgerald. Both number 12s going at it. Kicked into the forward line for South Croydon. Good take there. And that is going to be a free kick going the way of the home side. And it's going to go the way of Wandon, who will look to go down the line here. Good mark there taken by the captain in Johns. Handball to go down the line for Vermont as they look to get a goal back here in this third quarter. We haven't had a goal kicked in the third quarter, but it's going to be another stoppage. 7-point lead to South Croydon with nearly 4.5 left in this third quarter.
So Fitzgerald got the tap down. Johns latches onto it though, as he has done for pretty much most of the day. She's guessed the free kick as well. Does the Vermont
in the back.
Thank you for that, Kate Green. And they'll go inside 50 through Johns. No mark taken by South Croydon. It'll be locked up. They'll have a ball up. Vermont won't mind this. They still trail by 7 points. They'll want a goal here. There's no clear winner in that duel between Fitzgerald and Pay, and they'll go at it again, those two, with another ball up in Vermont's attacking 50. Fitzgerald got the tap down. Johns gets onto it though, goes inside 50, does the captain, tries to find Gartland, who went the kick off the ground, looking for Bizzano, shrugs off an opponent. But South Croydon do well to lock it up. 3.5 minutes left here. Still no goals in this third quarter. Vermont 139. As Bizzano got the tap down. It's locked up in the goal square. And we'll have another ball up. 139 Vermont. South Croydon 2-4-16. Just under 3.5 minutes left here in this third quarter. As South Croydon will be able to get it clear here. And they've got plenty of players loose. The kick will be cut off. Morgan Pay has started to get into this contest in the third quarter. Goes inside 50. The wing carries it to Elizabeth Griffin as that win starts to really pick up. Her kick, not the greatest one. Did really well there, did her teammate. Elder is around this. South Croydon will be able to clear. Clark tried to latch onto it, but it is Elder who does. Pay goes inside 50. Trying to find Keneally, couldn't haul it in. South Croydon will be able to clear their lines. There's a player down here for the Bulldogs. I've had the wind knocked out of her. As meanwhile, it's Johns who goes inside 50 once more. Clark latches onto this, goes to the goal square, trying to find her teammate. It's going to be rushed through. Couldn't haul it in. Georgia Wilson, who's been swung up forward, and it's a minor score. Vermont 1-4-10, trail by one straight kick. South Croydon 2-4-16. 2 minutes left in this third quarter. Boundary side to Kate Green.
South Croydon number 23. The ball actually, when she kicked it, ricocheted back into her face off a Vermont player, so she's just for a check.
So, kicked out of defence by South Croydon. It's going to be another ball up just outside on the wing here. Not far from the Vermont forward 50. South Croydon look to clear it away. Clark gets around, and that's going to be tackle, and it's going to be another ball up as the umpire went for the ball but couldn't get his hands on it, but Clark returns the ball to the umpire. So 4 behinds to 1 in favour of Vermont in this third quarter with 1 minute and 15 left in this third quarter as both rucks will go at it. Vermont look to get the clearance, and numbers for South Croydon get around the footy, and we go again. And cleared away by Vermont in the last minute of this third quarter. Clark, good smother there, and will be another stoppage. So 45 seconds left in the third quarter. 2-4-16 to 1-4-10 in favour of the Bulldogs. Cleared away for Vermont. That's a mark. Didn't travel 15 or wasn't paid as South Croydon looked to go forward, but good intercept mark there taken by Johns, who's played a real captain's game this morning, is going forward for Vermont as they look to get a goal before three-quarter time. Kicked forward by Johns. Is there an opportunity here for Vermont? And that is going to be cleared out. And mark taken by Johns. And she's going to have a kick after the three-quarter time siren.
And right on cue for her, the wind has picked up.
Yep, a real hurricane, you could call it this afternoon. She kicks, and it is fallen short. So a one-kick lead at three-quarter time for South Croydon. 2-4-16 South Croydon to Vermont 1-4-10. We'll be back after this short break for the last quarter. Welcome back to the Deakin University Women's Match of the Round. It's a one-goal lead for South Croydon at three-quarter time. 2-4-16 to Vermont 1-4-10 as the Vermont senior men's warm up in front of us. Let's go to Josh Ward for some scores around the grounds.
So let's kick things off with Premier Division Women's. Of course, there's 2 other games. Whitehorse Pioneers taking on the Eastern Devils, and it's the Devils 83-point leaders out there, and they've only conceded 1 behind. The Eastern Devils 84 to Whitehorse Pioneers 1. Of course, First Division, there were a couple of games run and done. Baronia 60-13 winners over the Basin out there at Ballaram Reserve. Park Orchards as well, won by 14 points over Park Orchards at home park. No scores from North Ringwood and Churnside Park. Into Second Division, Heathmont and Montrose against East Burwood out at Montrose Recreation Reserve. East Burwood were leading at half-time 30-15. And out at Surrey Park, we've got Surrey Park, East Ringwood. East Ringwood lead 40-19 though, so a good effort there from the Panthers. Into Third Division, no scores from that division. I believe the Eastern Devils were able to get on top of South Croydon, and into Fourth Division as well. At 3/4 time, it's a 2-point lead to Fair Park, 4-4-28 to Nuttawatting, 3-8-26. No other scores from any of the other games. As South Croydon dispersed from their huddle. We're set for a grandstand finish as we cross down to Cape Green boundary side.
Okay, quickly, South Croydon play up, run, and plenty of chance with the ball. Keep the heat up and just try and run them off their legs. Vermont mixing it up, keep changing direction. Great pressure, consistency. It's a 1-goal game.
So last quarter is underway here for Vermont and South Croydon. South Croydon look to get the clearance, and that is going to be ball up. It would have been the reserves warming up, not the seniors, excuse me, as the umpire will ball it up. And it's a tackle there from Vermont as South Croydon look to get it back into the forward 50. Good mark there taken. Intercept mark taken for Vermont as they look to get it down the line and look to get it into the forward 50. Goes down the line and out of bounds, so it's going back to South Croydon via May for South Croydon as she goes down the line, and mark nearly taken, but they'll get the ball anyway. And going into the forward 50, an opportunity for South Croydon, and it's hit the post. So it was Prendergast that hit the post, and it's out to a 7-point lead for the Bulldogs. 2-5-17 the Bulldogs, South Croydon to Vermont 1-14. We've played nearly a minute and a half in this final term.
As Elder got the kick in there to her teammate, did really well there to find it, and that wind has picked up since the 3/4 time as she goes looking for Maddie Johns. She'll pick up the ball on the ground. She'll look for Maddie Bazzano, who takes the mark. Got an option on the lead here, and that's Garland. A good lead at that and a good mark taken. She's looking to go inside 50. Finds Martini. He'll go back. Got a couple of one-on-ones. Bianca Clark's all on her own in the forward pocket. She goes to her. The kick was short, and O'Toole picked up the ball and was wrapped up by Clark. It's going to be a ball up right in front of us here in the forward pocket of Vermont Recreation Reserve. We're at the Canterbury Road end as ball will be tossed back up. Bazzano in ruck for Vermont, but it's South Croydon who get the tap and the clearance here through Hammersley. Goes to a 2-on-1 in favour of Vermont though. They'll be able to intercept that, doing really well. And they go inside 50. Garland was there, but O'Toole cuts it off. Clark wrapped her up. She found Alicia Fitzgerald though, did O'Toole, and she was wrapped up immediately, was Fitzgerald. The ball up, this time right in front of the Vermont benches. Mielka goes up against Fitzgerald. No clear winner, but it's Hammersley who gets the clearance. Lynch was around that ball, couldn't haul it in. South Croydon doing really well. They'll be able to clear it. No, they won't. It's thrown by Brooke Smith, and the ball will go to Zoe Lynch. She's looking for options. Plenty of one-on-ones. She goes short. Couldn't find Cullen. She was wrapped up, and Have another ball up. So Vermont attacking. 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes gone here in this fourth quarter as Mielka got the tap down. No clearance, won by Bizzano. Vermont doing really well with their pressure. And we'll have another ball up at half-forward flank here.
So at half-forward flank, just outside the Vermont attacking 50, kicked away, but good handball there from Vermont. Jose looked to get it forward, but good kick away there from McMillan, who has been lively who's been very good for South Croydon today. Here's South Croydon going into the attacking 50. Is it mark taken by Black? Couldn't get her hands on it. Looks to kick it. Player under it. Good spoil there by South Croydon player and moves her out of the way as South Croydon. And it's going to be a free kick to South Croydon, I believe. And it's going the way of
51.
Prendergast, I believe that is.
As Prendergast will line up for goal here and look to make it a tough ask for Vermont. Of course, South Croydon are kicking with the breeze in the last quarter to make it a 13-point game here. It's coming back, and it's there. So Prendergast, on a tough angle, kicks a goal and gets it out to a 13-point game for South Croydon. The player who plays for the Southern Saints in the VFLW kicks a goal for South Croydon. It's a 13-point lead, 3-5-23 South Croydon to Vermont, 1-4-10. We've played 6 minutes and 20 seconds in the last quarter.
That's a big goal from Katie Prendergast, her experienced on show. As we got some scores around the grounds in that South Croydon Eastern Devils third division game. Eastern Devils won 41 to 20 at three-quarter time at Montrose Recreation Reserve. The Demons have pulled back the margin. Eastbell at 31 to Montrose 26. So an intriguing contest out there as Montrose Recreation Reserve. As another stoppage there in the middle of the ground. Getting the kick clear was Marley Wandon. Couldn't find anyone though, and
free kick.
It's going to be a throw here paid to Vermont, and they'll have a chance to go inside 50 here. They instead go wide. They go inside 50 looking for Martini, who took a good mark. She's about a kick away from goal. A couple of one-on-ones in the square, namely Georgia Wilson and Holly Keneally. A good intercept mark taken. Hayley Brebner continues to start for South Croydon. She goes to dangerous kick to Heather McMillan, who took the mark. Bit hesitantly to lead there, did McMillan. She's probably been on a South Croydon's best. So she goes back to Brebner. Her kick was a bit errant though. And it'll be intercepted by Cullen. Was it high? It was high. And Vermont and Holly Cullen, in fact, will get the free kick. Get the ball back here. She'll go, or look to go inside 50. Couple of leading options. Wilson was down there. The big target was Keneally. Got the smother, did Keneally. It's out the back, and McMillan will be able to clear her lines, but not for long. Clark couldn't haul in the mark. Taps it out of bounds right in front of her bench, and we'll have a ball up. 13 minutes left here in this final quarter. It's South Croydon with the 13-point advantage. 35-23, Vermont 1-4-10 as ball is tossed back up. Vermont won the tap through pay, and they're inside 50 now, but South Croydon will be able to rebound. Getting the kick clear there was Degumi. She finds her teammate, who goes a high up and under kick looking for Prendergast, who hauled in the mark, and she's got plenty of space. This is a chance for the sealer for Prendergast. Has it gone through? It has! Katie Prendergast, another massive goal. And South Croydon lead by 19 now, 4-5-29, Vermont 1-4-10 as we wait for the scoreboard to tick over. It's Katie Prendergast's second goal of this game and of this quarter, as well. And it's 12 minutes left. It's a massive ask for Vermont to come back, given South Croydon. They've kicked the only 2 goals and the last 4 goals since quarter time, Paul Yukone.
Yes, so South Croydon have in the back half been very good all day and kept Vermont to the 1 goal so far. Can Vermont get a goal back and maybe something here? But South Croydon on top at the moment as both rucks go at it, and Brebner, who has been a limelight for South Croydon today, and that's going to be another ball up with 11 and 10 left in this final term. Umpire.
Just a question on Brebner. Is she one of your contenders? Well, obviously there's no Player of the Game award, but do you feel like she's been South Croydon's best today, Paul?
Yeah, I think she's definitely up there. McMillan has been very good for South Croydon, as well as a pack of players go around it, and that's going to be another ball up. And also Prendergast with her 2 goals in the final term coming up clutches. We've got 10 and a half left. Umpire says my footy is the umpire balls it up again as Vermont look to win the clearance through Johns. And handballed away for South Croydon, going down the line. Now they look to get it into the forward 50. Is it Black going for it? Now it's a back of play. Sock it off the ground. It's a goal. It's a goal for South Croydon. And they've got it out to
Number 20.
To a goal there to South Croydoners. It's
we're not too sure who number 20 is, actually. We're sorry it's this late, but that's a massive goal there, and that pretty much seals the game. South Croydon 5-5-35, Vermont 1-4-10. In fact, that could be, you could argue, the icing on the cake. They might want a cherry on top here, South Croydoners. We're back in the middle of Vermont Recreation Reserve. A massive 3-goal final quarter, and we've only played half a quarter for South Croydon. Fitzgerald got the tap down. Vermont get the clearance, though. They're looking for Keneally, but it'll be cut off here. Kick forward by Johns. Trying to control it there was Cullen. She got the handball to Johns, who has all the time in the world, but good pressure applied there. She'll be pinged. I went too early with too much time in the world for Johns, because that was a brilliant tackle by Brooke Smith, standing up there. And 25 as well. I'm not too sure what that was for.
Yep, and you could see Johns with her arms out thinking, what was that for? And
she's a bit annoyed as Smith is marched to centre wing. She's going to half-forward flank here. It's all Vermont, though. Bounce doesn't favour them. Handball back here to O'Donnell, who's going inside 50. The wind carries it. Tap forward there. In fact, it's going to be locked up. We'll have another ball up. So 8.5 minutes left here in this final quarter. 25 points South Croydon advantage. They've blown this game out of proportion in the final quarter as Pay just tried to burst her way through the pack from ruck, but she couldn't, and we'll have another ball up. She'll do battle against Fitzgerald will Pay, and it's Fitzgerald who gets the tap down, but Johns, as always, getting the clearance. O'Toole was there. It'll be a ball up. Maddie Johns has probably been Vermont's best on ground. She's continued to work hard in ruck and in midfield. I beg your pardon, as Fitzgerald got the tap down, and Johns was around that ball, but Vermont will be able to clear it. And all on her own is Marley Wandon, who's also had an impressive game. The ball will beat Wandon and go out of bounds. I think it'll be last possession rule here. And the free kick will go to South Croydon's Cara Colburn-Veal, who will look to go deeper inside forward 50 to the forward pocket. Mark taken. I'm not too sure. The mark is taken by South Croydon.
Number 2.
It's Taylor Black.
So Taylor Black is going to line up for goal here and look to get the lead out to 31 points as she comes in. She's kicked one already. And she's kicked a minus score. So lead goes out to 26 points. South Croydon 5-6-36 to Vermont 1-4-10. We've got 6:40 left in this final term.
So with the kick in there, just Elder. All tossed back into play. 6.5 minutes left, as Paul Yukone said there. Not too much time left for Vermont as they try to clear their lines, but South Croydon applying really good pressure. They get the kick clear though. Handball there by Hilda, who's also been a brick wall down in defence, but South Croydon will go inside 50. Trying to latch onto this one was Georgia Wilson. He'll trickle out of bounds. South Croydon 5-6-36, Vermont 1-4-10. 6 minutes left here in this final quarter. As the ball will be tossed back up. Vermont get the tap down. South Croydon are able to lock it inside there. Attacking 50 though. Tap down there by Dagumi. Clark will cut it off and go into the middle of the ground. Her kick will be cut off by Hayley Brebner. What a game she's had, the former Montana South junior. She goes inside 50. No mark taken there by Grimwade.
Boundary.
Vermont have all the numbers as we cross down boundary side to Kate Green.
Just a quick jumper update. Melanda was given to us as 25. Her jumper number is actually 20.
So we'll credit Melanda with one of South Croydon's 3 final quarter goals as the ball will trickle out of bounds here off the boot of Rebecca Munyard. 5 minutes left. Vermont 1-4-10, South Croydon 5-6-36 as umpire receives the ball and will toss the ball back up. In ruck for South Croydon, it's Dagumi, but Vermont get the tap down through Pay and will be able to get the clearance. Go the dangerous kick into the middle of the ground. Couldn't control the ball there, could Marley Wandin. And Elizabeth Griffin shrugs her off the ball. Does really well, does Griffin, who's also had a good game, but she's locked up by Vermont player, and we'll have another ball up in the middle of Vermont Recreation Reserve with 4.5 minutes left here. No clear winner in that ruck duel. South Croydon get the clearance though. It'll be cut off. Elizabeth Griffin is a bit too eager there and gives away the free kick to Ash Hilda. What a game she's had, the former Ferntree Gully girl, as she goes to half forward. Pay couldn't haul in the marks. She'll be able to crumb her own ball. In fact, it'll be Wandin who crumbs it. And she was wrapped up and pinged for holding the ball. So South Croydon, they'll have the chance to potentially add another goal on the board, Paul.
So down the line for South Croydon, pack of players go around it, and that is going to be kicked away for South Croydon. And here we go. Handballs at forward. Here's an opportunity for South Croydon. Good pressure there by Vermont as they look to get out of defence through Clark. Good handball. Now an opportunity made for South Croydon to get a goal on the board, their second goal on the board here. Now they keep going forward, but South Croydon getting numbers around it. Good smother there, and that is almost in the back, and it is. So Clark's going to get the free. She has been a very good player for Vermont today, one of the best. As it's a 26-point lead for South Croydon, 5-6-36 to Vermont, 1-4-10 as she goes into forward 50. Mark nearly taken. Good possession there by McMillan, who's been one of South Croydon's best, and that's going to go out of bounds. No, it isn't. It's kept alive, and now it's gone out of bounds. So it's going to be a ball up in the Vermont forward 50. 5-6-36 South Croydon, 1-4-10 Vermont with 2.5 left in the game.
So Fitzgerald got the tap down, looking for Griffin, who tried to burst her way through as well. Looks for the handball to Fitzgerald, but it's locked up. Maddie Johns at the bottom of that pack, and it's another ball up. Vermont will want a goal just to get a bit of percentages. Maddie Johns was there, but Vermont are able to get it inside 50 and cutting it off. Amy Whittle, what a game she's had in defence as well against her former side as she goes to the far side. It's all Vermont, but one South Croydon player, and McKellar took the mark. As she goes into the middle of the ground, a couple of one-on-ones. Lynch couldn't take the mark. She'll try to pick up the ball, though. Couldn't. Pay will be given the free kick here. So just under 2 minutes left. South Croydon 36, Vermont 10 as Pay finds a target in Kiara Reid. As she looks to go inside 50. She finds Rebecca Munyard. She's got players screaming for the ball. Bazzano's also on the lead. Keneally the deepest target. She goes looking for Clark. Couldn't haul in the mark. That was a great effort. And clearing her lines there, Rachel Giddens. And it's all South Croydon here. Elizabeth Griffin will be able to pick up the ball there, trying to find Price, but she couldn't fully control the ball and invites the Vermont pressure, and we'll have a ball up. We're into the final minute of this contest out here at Vermont Recreation Reserve, and it's the Bulldogs who'll come home winners by 36-10.
So free kick going the way of Vermont here as they look to get their second just before the end to round it home. So short kick over the top, good intercept mark there taken by Sarah O'Toole, the captain for South Croydon, who's been very good today. Down the line, good intercept mark there for Vermont as they look to go in there. Pack of players around it, and that is going to be in the back. So here's an opportunity for South Croydon through Keneally, who is looking to get her second goal. And the siren will go here as she lines up after the siren. Can she get there second? In she comes. Kicks it, and it's just going to fall short. So South Croydon, a comprehensive win in the end by 26 points. South Croydon 5-6-36 to Vermont 1-4-10. Josh Ward, the goal kickers.
So for Vermont, it was only one goal kicker, and that was Holly Keneally. For South Croydon, 2 massive last quarter goals for Katie Prendergast. One to Amy Melander in that final quarter as well, and the other goal kickers, Taylor Black and Amy Grimwade. Those goals coming in the second quarter as well. South Croydon, they continue to keep up the pace with the Eastern Devils in first place. Of course, the Devils are unbeaten, but they're definitely building South Croydon. This is a very promising start to the season, 6-1. Of course, they've had the one bye. They'll have a bye a bit later on, but they would take that any day of the. They would take that South Croydon, and this is the perfect start after the King's birthday break, as Kate Green is alongside the 2 coaches. Before we potentially cross down to her, do you have a player of the game, Paul Yukone?
I think the player for me that really stood out for South Croydon today would have to be Heather McMillan. She was very good on the wing. She took plenty of intercept marks today to inspire South Croydon. What about you, Josh?
Yeah, I think Heather McMillan as well. There were plenty of contributors everywhere. Katie Prendergast, as you mentioned a little earlier on, she was an absolute star in that final quarter.
Amy Grimwade was good for South Croydon today.
She definitely was as well. And Sarah O'Toole from the front in midfield. Hayley Brebner had a really good game on a wing and across defence, always cutting it off. For Vermont, Maddie Johns, I reckon she was their best on ground. She had patches where she was swung up forward, but when she was in midfield, she was often getting first juice out of the midfield for Vermont. She's an absolute superstar. The Johns are absolute superstars out here at Vermont.
Clark was also a very good player for mine. She was around the contest all day. She was very inspiring for the Vermont side.
She definitely was. And Marley Wandon on a wing as well. She also had a really good game. She's come across the former Mount Evelyn Junior this year. I think she's returned to football as well and has put together a great season. Morgan Pay as well got into the contest in that final quarter in ruck. She's one to watch. And Holly Keneally looked pretty lively up forward. But all in all, South Croydon had plenty of contributors across the board, and as did Vermont, but it's the Bulldogs who end up winners out here at Vermont Recreation Reserve, 5-6-36 to 1-4-10, the final score. That just about does us, Paul Yukone, for the Deakin Uni Women's Match of the Round. It's been a pleasure calling alongside you this morning.
Pleasure.
It was a great contest as well, until, of course, South Croydon running over the top, but a real finals-type contest, you feel?
Yes, certainly. Vermont have a lot to be proud of today. They certainly brought the heat against South Croydon, and credit to South Croydon as well. They definitely kicked away in the last quarter.
As that does us in the Deakin Uni Women's Match of the Round, it's South Croydon winners by 26 points, 36 to 10. Thank you for tuning in to this edition. We'll be back next.